Hello everyone, it's Brandon here again for another video. My videos are geared towards giving you some type of helpful information to help improve your life in some way. Today's video is going to be another video about bipolar disorder in specific, and also how nicotine affects people with bipolar disorder. So I'm going to be describing the interaction, why it's sometimes even a helpful thing for people with bipolar disorder, almost like a coping mechanism in a sense. And then also I'm going to describe how it's, of course, detrimental, especially in the case of smoking cigarettes, if you're using that as a way to get nicotine into your system. So anyway, let's get started. So nicotine is not quite like a lot of people think it is. It actually has many positive health benefits. This is hard for us to accept sometimes when we hear it at first, because we've been taught by the media and their backlash against smoking cigarettes that nicotine is also bad. If you want to do a quick YouTube search after this video on the health benefits of nicotine, I'm sure that you won't have any trouble finding videos that tell you about how the drug itself, nicotine, helps. One thing that it does, it helps your cognitive functions such as memory. It helps your processing speed. It can help your typing speed. It's a stimulant, but it also has the ability to help with depression as well. It's kind of like an antidepressant in a sense. And with all these things considered, and also many of the other positive health benefits that the drug, if we're isolating the drug nicotine and only talking about that, it is beneficial. And people with bipolar disorder actually use this drug a lot more than most people. If you look at a general population, and then if you look at a population of people with bipolar disorder who have been diagnosed, there's going to be a higher population, or a higher percentage of the population of people with bipolar disorder who are using nicotine. And there's a reason for this. People with bipolar disorder have a lot of problems that they've got to deal with, not only in their personal lives like everyone else, but they also have this disorder that's making their lives hell sometimes. And on top of the depression and everything, nicotine really can help give you that boost. Now, I've been vaping on and off for about 3 years. I smoked for maybe 3 months before that, before I realized, okay, smoking is just horrible. I can feel it in my lungs. I'm going to quit. So I quit that, switched to vaping, and then I quit vaping, maybe for like a year and a half out of the 3 years that I've been doing it on and off. And just recently, I've had a couple manic episodes, or like hypomanic episodes. I did take myself to the hospital on 2 occasions during that time, and my medication has been adjusted and everything. But through all of this, I found myself back at my old job and a lot of old habits, and I started a relationship with my ex again, and in that, she was a smoker, and she just recently quit smoking and switched to vaping. And spending so much time with her and being around nicotine again, I started vaping, when she's next to me, when she has her vape. I hit it constantly, and I've noticed I just want to hit it more and more, because in this state right now where my emotions and energy levels are being affected by the kind of drawn out episode kind of thing that I'm going through right now, the nicotine is helping my emotions, my mood, and my energy be more regulated. I've even heard that nicotine is almost it almost stabilizes. Not almost. I've heard that it is, in a sense, a mood stabilizer as well. So it might not only help with depression. Even as a stimulant, it might actually help bring your mood down. I've actually heard as well that nicotine isn't just a stimulant. It's not that simple of a compound. It has a lot of complex interactions in the brain. So, keeping all of this in mind, you can kind of see how people with bipolar disorder, especially when we're going through these, depressive moods or changing mood swings, you can see why we would use this as like a crutch to hold ourselves up. We use it as a crutch in our hardest times, and sometimes people with bipolar disorder can get off of nicotine and all substances and they're fine. And other times, you see many people with bipolar disorder who, with a higher percentage of those people being alcoholics than, the general population. A lot of us try to self-medicate, whether we even are aware of it or not. That's what we're doing when we might use alcohol excessively or nicotine excessively. We're really trying to use it as like a bandage to cover up a weakness that we might have that is caused by the disorder or just caused by the kind of chaos in our life that is brought about by the disorder. So, I've basically given a quick crash course on, just stating that there are problems that we have to deal with bipolar disorder. A lot of us use drugs or, other slightly unhealthy habits to kind of control that. And also, I want to make clear, when I say that nicotine has health benefits, I'm not saying that smoking has health benefits. Smoking, if you're smoking cigarettes, at that point, it really is questionable if the nicotine is ever helping more than it's hurting. I would say vaping is kind of in the middle. There are other methods to get nicotine into your system, such as gum, patches, and just recently I've heard that the healthiest way is to use a lozenge, and specifically the smaller lozenges, because they don't have aspartame in it, which is kind of a chemical that is not good for your health. So with all this considered, I just want to say that if there is a time when you're in a really bad situation, you might find yourself reaching out to nicotine. Just realize that you need to be aware of the effect that the nicotine, as well as whatever, delivery mechanism that you're using to get the nicotine, you need to be aware of what kind of effect this has on your health. If you're smoking cigarettes to try to help out, maybe switch to vaping. If you're vaping and you're starting to feel better and you're getting out of your mood, and energy problems, and you're starting to get more stable by using medication, or if it's just a better time of the year. I know the summer is a much better time of the year for me and my moods. Maybe at that point switch to lozenges, or maybe just get off it entirely. Like I said, for the past 3 years, maybe 50% of the time or so, I have been off of nicotine entirely, and that usually comes when I'm doing my best in life, which is usually in the spring and the summer. My mood issues that I talked about with the bipolar manic episodes that I had in the past month or two, those came about in winter, and now I find myself using nicotine again all of a sudden because I've got more things going in my life that I have to deal with, and honestly, I would say the nicotine helps. Like today I was feeling pretty down and groggy. I took a mood stabilizer, like an extra mood stabilizer, because now I have one that I take on certain circumstances when I feel like I need that. Like if I'm feeling too up, I'll take another one. So I took that, and by the time I woke up, I felt pretty down. And I just noticed that when I vape or when I get the nicotine, it actually helps bring me back up to a normal level, especially when I'm feeling depressed or just slightly depressed. It really helps my energy levels, helps my motivation, helps everything when it comes to coming out of that slightly, depressed state. Okay, so I've talked about some things and some ways that nicotine can help us with bipolar disorder, how, smoking can still hurt us, even if the nicotine is slightly helping us. I think I've given you guys just some thoughts, I'm sure, and covered some ground on that. So if the video helped you at all, just please give me a like on YouTube. I'm really trying to grow the channel. Make sure to go ahead in the comments section and drop me any questions or any video ideas that you would want from me. and I'll be happy to respond and get back to you as soon as I can on that. Other than that, thank you for watching.